Hi there, and today we're going to be covering Chapter 10, Lesson 1, Surface Area of Prisms. All right, so a prism is an object that has rectangular sides, and it gets its name, whether we call it a rectangular prism, a triangular prism, based on its bases. So here's a little box that I have put together here, and you can see I've got a big rectangle, and I rotate it around. There's a little bit smaller rectangle, big rectangle again, and then I have these rectangular, what we're calling today our bases. Okay, so this is an example of a rectangular prism, and I went and I cut it right on the edges and opened it up, and now I have my rectangular prism laid out for you in what is called a net, N-E-T, net. Okay, and what you'll notice is the two that end pieces that give this prism its name, rectangular prism, are hanging off of the shape. Okay, these are our bases, and they're rectangular in shape. Then we have four lateral faces. Okay, because this rectangle here has four sides. So we need four pieces that need to attach to it. And they're also rectangular in shape. These two pieces, these two lateral faces, will have the same dimensions. And these two lateral faces will have the same dimensions. Okay, so I'll show you in a little bit how we're going to solve a problem that is a rectangular prism. The other type of problem you're going to see today is one called a triangular prism. And again, it's a prism because it has rectangular sides, but the bases are, so I'm sorry, this is a bad video of this, but the bases are triangular. Okay, so you'll see that better when I open it up. You can see the bases are triangular in shape. And here there are three lateral faces because a triangle has three sides to it, okay? But each face is a different measurement. So you'll have one lateral face, the second lateral face, and a third lateral face. And you'll notice that I've colored my net, and it just helps me to know, hey, there are three different lateral faces, and these two bases are the same. So I know I only need to do one calculation to figure out the area of that triangular base. Okay, so let's get on with the lesson here. So if it's a rectangular prism, the formula is very straightforward. It's this one right here. Surface area is going to equal 2 times the length times the width, which is the area of your base. Remember, that's these little pieces that hang off, plus 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the width times the height. These two pieces are the areas of your lateral faces, the orange and the yellow pieces right here. Okay? And again, this is your two-dimensional object or three-dimensional object, and this is the net of that object. So the first thing we're going to do is find the surface area of the rectangular prism. All right, and this one here has a height of 9 centimeters, a width of 4 centimeters, and a length of 6 centimeters. Okay, I've color coded. The base is red. My two lateral faces that are the same are orange, and the other two lateral faces that are the same dimension are yellow. Okay, so the first one we're going to write down is 2 times the length times the width. These are our base measurements. Okay, so 2 times 6 times 4. And then we have 2 times the length times the height, which is our yellow pieces, our 6 times 9. Okay, so this is 6 times 9. Okay, and this one over here was 6 times 4. And our last piece is going to be the orange, where we multiply the width, which is 4, times the height, which is 9. Okay, so 2 times 6 times 4 is 48. 2 times 6 times 9 is 108, and 2 times 4 times 9 is 72. That was 72. Add all three of those up, and we find out that the surface area of this rectangular prism is 228 centimeters squared. The second object we're going to find the surface area of is that triangular prism. okay? So, again, it's called a triangular prism because the bases are triangular in shape, and these triangles happen to be right triangles. Okay, so the first thing I did was I took my shape and I drew a net of it. Just makes it easier, and it makes it a lot easier if you color code the pieces. Okay, so have some colored pencils out and shade them in. So I made my bases, my triangular bases, red. I made one lateral face green, one purple, one blue. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is start figuring out what is the area of a base. Now remember, there's two bases, but we're going to find the area of one of them, and they're triangular. So area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times height. So we plug in what we know. We have area equals 1/2 times 6 times 8, right? So 6 times 8. You can multiply the numerators straight across, then divide by 2. You can cross reduce, whatever works for you, but you should come to a final conclusion that the area is 24 inches squared. Now we need to remember there are two of these, right? There are two triangular bases. So when we go to find the total surface area, we need to put in 24 twice, okay? Now let's go find the lateral faces. So again, my green one, area of a rectangle, simple, length times width. So I have 7 times 6, which is 42 inches. Let's go to the purple one. Here we have 7 times 10, 70 inches squared. And finally the blue one, 7 times 8, which is 56 inches squared.